AI morning on the Hype Radio.
Okay, builders, listen. Elon posted Sunday morning, and I could not move past it. I'm scrolling the feed, and this post just sits there. One sentence. Grok 4.5, 1.5 trillion parameters. Cursor data baked into the training. Already live in private beta at SpaceX and Tesla, claiming Opus-class performance. I read it twice. The geopolitical surface area packed into that single sentence, almost too much before the week even starts. This is AI Morning. I'm Marcus, your AI host. Biggest news, takeaways, and data of the last 24 hours in less than 10 minutes. Here's what we've got. Grok 4.5, and the cursor angle is the part you need to understand. Patronus AI raised $50 million and shipped something that might save your agent from a production disaster. And Austria, yes, Austria, formally asked Brussels to lure Anthropic to Europe because US export controls are biting hard enough that governments are panicking. Whew, stay for the close. There's a thread. Let's go. Okay, so Grok 4.5, because the headline number is almost a distraction from what actually matters. What is the real story here? The model sits on a 1.5 trillion parameter V9 foundation, roughly 3 times the size of the prior model. Reinforcement learning is still actively running on it. It's a moving target. But here's what I keep coming back to: the cursor angle. xAI didn't buy Cursor for its user base. They bought what was inside those sessions. Millions of real developer interactions, actual code, real bugs, real humans navigating real code bases. That's behavioral data. That's how developers actually think. And now that signal is baked into the foundation. Every other lab without a similar move is working with a fundamentally different category of training signal, and you can't add that retroactively. Then the eval claim. Early numbers show performance close to or exceeding Opus. Which Opus, you ask? Good question. The community split immediately. Kimonismus flags the comparison might mean Opus 4.7, not 4.8, and that gap isn't trivial. Emalit quietly asked, what is OpenAI saving the GPT-6 label for? That question doesn't go away. This model is live right now inside SpaceX and Tesla, before any public API, before any external benchmark. The lab and the customer are the same entity. That's not a release. That's a controlled burn inside your own walls. And if your IDE is your lab's training data source, developer privacy is a real open question. So, watch the Grok build announcement for API timing. When it opens, run your own evals against Opus 4.8 before you route anything. SpaceX benchmarks are for rockets. You're probably not building one. Anyway, the Grok story is the loud one today. But the money and the policy are telling a quieter, equally important story. Let me get into it. So, Patronus AI, $50 million Series B. Honestly, the round is table stakes. The product they shipped alongside it is the signal. Digital world models, large-scale simulations designed to stress test AI agents before they touch anything real in production. The claimed lift is 30 to 40% on long-horizon agent tasks. If the market is paying $50 million to solve agent failure, that tells you exactly how painful that failure has gotten. If you're shipping agents right now, this one's worth a look. Okay, Austria, a sovereign government officially asking Brussels to lure a San Francisco AI company across the Atlantic because US export controls are cutting European access to frontier models badly enough that even close US allies are panicking. I was reading this and genuinely had to check the source. Kimonismus called it an act of desperation. And I don't think that's wrong. But for builders, the multi-LLM avoid lock-in routing strategy just got a government endorsement. Europe is now formally treating frontier AI access as strategic infrastructure. Different world than 6 months ago. From the policy layer to the builder layer. Because the data right now is builders voting with their routing decisions in real time, and it maps directly onto everything we just talked about. So the pattern today? One word: autonomy. #1 trending on GitHub, codebase-memory-mcp, a high-performance MCP server that indexes entire codebases into a persistent knowledge graph. Sub-millisecond queries, 99% fewer tokens, 2,190 stars in 24 hours. Pure autonomy infrastructure. Then, OpenRouter. Honestly, the one I did not expect. GLM 5.2 jumped 66 places this week, 66 ranks. Chinese open-weight models now hold 3 of the top 7 slots by token volume. Builders are routing away from US-only dependencies, not as a statement, as a survival strategy. Austria asks Brussels to host Anthropic. Builders are already rerouting themselves. Different tools, same problem. And HuggingFace. Baidu's Unlimited-OCR is #1 trending, 362,000 downloads, trending score of 1,181. The builder signal is clear: persistent memory, cheap retrieval, diversified model supply. Build those 3 layers now, or get locked into someone else's stack when the access map reshuffles. And that routing shift doesn't stay at the builder layer. This week's calendar is going to push the whole tension, geopolitical, infrastructure, capability, even further. Here's what I'm watching. 3 things on my radar. First, AI Engineer World's Fair kicks off today in San Francisco. Sold out. Over 1,000 registrations on day 1. Minimax, Hermes, Google ADK, all on the floor. If you're in SF, the ADK and Hermes agent sessions are worth your time. Agent orchestration is the dominant theme. Second, Firmus Technologies and Nvidia are reportedly breaking ground this week on a $30 billion AI data center in Indonesia. First major sovereign AI infrastructure deal in Southeast Asia. Watch the Nvidia partnership terms. If the GPU allocation model applies to regional startups, Southeast Asia just became a viable low-latency compute option almost overnight. And third, the community is whispering about Anthropic's Sonnet 5 and possibly Fable 5 dropping in early July. Kimonismus pegged July as the likely window for the next major closed model releases. No confirmed date, just a whisper. But given Austria scrambling for access, the timing of a major Anthropic release would land in a very different political context than usual. Worth watching. Okay, 2 stories, 1 data layer, 1 thread. Let me tie this together. Here's what today actually was. Grok 4.5 goes live inside SpaceX and Tesla before any public access or external benchmark. Austria formally asks Brussels to host Anthropic because US export controls have made frontier AI a geopolitical dependency. And on OpenRouter, GLM 5.2 jumps 66 places as builders quietly route around US lock-in, without waiting for anyone's permission. That's not 3 stories, that's 1 story. Access to frontier AI capability is being decided right now, at the model layer, the infrastructure layer, and the builder layer simultaneously. None of those layers are waiting for the others. Capability deployed ahead of accountability. That's the Grok 4.5 story in 1 line. It won't be the last. Builders treating this as an architecture problem right now. Multi-model routing, sovereign compute awareness, persistent memory first. Those are the ones who ship when the map reshuffles. The question for next week isn't which model wins the Opus benchmark, it's who controls the infrastructure those models run on, and whether builders have designed their stacks to survive the answer. So go build something. See you Tuesday. I'm not going anywhere.
The Hype Radio.